Mama akasemaje, nenda. Nikaondoka zangu. Niliondoka zangu hivyo siku ya pili ile yule bibi akanipa ile simu ili niasiliane na yule bwana. Aliponipa ile simu mimi nikaichukua ile simu, nikadhalika zile namba, nikaanza kuwasiliana na polisi. Nikawasiliana nao, akaniambia inabidi ulipate hilo jina la baba na hizo tarehe. Ilifika siku ya pili nikamuuliza mama, mimi na tarehe ngapi? Akaniambia tarehe kuhusu ananioa nani? Akaniambia hivi vinavyokuhusu wewe hapo kaa. Akaja mwenyekiti wa mtaa. Ulipofika usiku akaja mwenyekiti wa mtaa, akasema wewe ndo Damwana? Nikamwambia ndio. Akaniambiaje, sisi tumepata taarifa kutoka kituoni kama wewe unataka kuolewa. Kweli wewe? Nikamwambia kweli. Kwa mwenyewe mimi sitaki kuolewa. Basi mwenyekiti tena akatumwa aende kule eneo la tukio. Akaambia hii ndoa isitishe.
She now lives in a shelter with other vulnerable girls and dreams of a career in fashion. Despite a worldwide acceptance of child marriage, the young brides realize their own self-worth. Girls marry for a number of reasons. But what about old-fashioned love? As the saying goes, it's complicated. Estrella was in the 6th grade when she fell in love. She married her boyfriend over their parents' objections. In Mexico, roughly 1 in 4 girls is married or in a live-in relationship by age 18.
Me llamo Estrella Belén Estrada Rodríguez, tengo 13 años, iba de segundo grado de la secundaria. Sino que lo pensaba por mi escuela, pues, pero como lo quiero mucho, sí quería estar con él. Cambió pues porque estudiaba y llegando pues ya estaba todo listo. Ya ahorita pues tengo que atender a mi esposo. Me levanto temprano a darle pues su café para ir a las 5:40, 6. Ya después empiezo a limpiar la casa, lavo los trastes, lavo su ropa, todo, ¿no? Y ya le ayudo a mi suegra a hacer pues el desayuno para que aprenda yo a cocinar, pues, más que nada, porque como no muy sé, pues, ya mi suegra me enseña. Pero ya me estoy acostumbrada.
Okay, I live in Dyersburg, Tennessee. I work all the time, take care of my baby and the husband. That's about it.
At 16, Katie married a man twice her age. Her mother signed the marriage license.
I got pregnant underage, and that was kind of what had us go ahead and get married so I wouldn't send him to jail. A lot of people look down on him for it and stuff, you know, but like I told him, I don't care what anybody thinks. I love him, you know, it is what it is. I mean, we're like any other marriage couple. We've had our problems. I mean, we split up, I went and stayed with them for a little bit, but we just know we want to live with each other, we want to be with each other, you know what I mean? So we work through our problems. I couldn't live without him.
Sultan in Turkey can relate to that. Now nearing 60, hers was an arranged marriage. She has 2 sons and no regrets.
Güzel bir şeydi. Bilmiyorum. Ben de çocuktum. Beraber büyüdük oğlumla. Ama eşimi hiç tanımamıştım, bilmiyordum. Zamanla biz birbirimizi tanıdık. Şimdi çok mutluyum, çok şükür. Yani iki tane aslan gibi oğlum var. Güzel bir yerdedirler. Eşimle beraber yaşıyorum.
در مدتی که اونجا در خانه بودی 1 سال ادعا می‌کنی و در خانه بودم برخورد اینا با تو چطور؟
عکس من خریجه ببینم اونو ندارم.
هیچی کنم.
8 months after her first interview, Samaya is transformed. She is divorced and living at home, away from the beatings and violence of her in-laws. Her father was sentenced to 2 years in jail for forcing her into marriage. she's happy and healing and wants to learn to read the Quran.
اونا دارن زندگی خور میکنم، من زندگی عادی خور شروع کردم، خیاطی میکنم. من و مادر یک براری دارم، برار من فعلا به شرکت مایه بره کار میکنه، دیگه کسی نیاز ما که مثلا نوار خونه ما فقط مانه. اول خدا بعد از ما برار مینه کلا نمینه. پدر ما کارم نمیکرد. بله فعلا بیتر شده، حالا که پیام نیم خب کل بیتر شده، بخاطر از اینکه پیام که به جنگ دعوا میکرد و چه میکرد، همون پولی که ما خیاطی کردی از ما میسون، به این واسه از اولاز خیلی خوب. خونه دیگه مو خیاطی مانه که مثلا اپرانه که بیارم برای ما خیلی میارم، بیشتر خیاطی و پیش مانه.
Na nikaendelea kusoma ile shule tuseme. Ndoto zangu nataka niwe mwana design mzuri.
Ya, alasan saya mengajukan ke MK, jangan sampai adanya pernikahan anak lagi. Udah cukup saya aja yang jadi korban. Kalau dinikahin masih anak, masih kecil tuh, aduh nggak enak rasanya. Iya, memperjuangkan anak gitu. Udah jangan sampai kayak saya gitu. Harus diperjuangkan anak.
What about your microphone, Mama?
It just stays there.
Why?
It just does.
Nie minuty, to po dziru.
Unë martova se mbeta në rrugë, ku mund ta çoja unë vajzën time. Pra ma kisha në një shtëpi me vajzën, kisha një shtëpi personale siç jam këtu për shkak. Me vajzën time, normalisht unë do ta arsimoja fëmijën. S'kishte nevojë vajza im për burr 11 vjeçë, 12 vjeçë, 13 vjeçë. Ta arsimohesh, të shkonte në një punë, të punonte për veten e saj në një kurs, për veten e saj, jo për mua, për veten. Unë do punoja vetë edhe për fëmijën që fëmia im të ishte dikushi.
Girls like Samaya are the exception rather than the rule. Around the globe, they remain at risk. For every girl like Mwana Hamisi who escaped an unwanted marriage, millions more are trapped in abusive, unhappy unions. For every Katie and Sultan who found love, comfort and stability, millions more are like Khadija and Orkida who don't know what love is.
Unë I bëj një mesazh të gjithë këtyre nënave, vërtet ne vetë jena martuar në një moshë të vogël, por të paktën fëmijëve tanë të japi një arsimim të mirë dhe fëmia mund të martohet në një moshë e pakta 20 vjeç, e pakta.
তাই আমি সবার কাছে বলবো একটা কথাই কমু যে আমার মতো আমরা চাই না যে কোনো মেয়ের বাবা মা কোনো মেয়েকে অল্প বয়সে বিয়ে দিয়ে কোনো মেয়ের পড়ালেখা নষ্ট করুক বা কোনো মেয়ের জীবনটা নষ্ট করুক।
I do regret, not finishing school, growing up way too fast. That's just stuff you shouldn't do when you're a kid, honestly. I see that all now. I didn't see it then, though, and you can't change it.
Ending marriage before 18 is one of the United Nations' 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It asks that governments, civil society organizations, religious and community leaders, and families work together to re-evaluate the worth of their goals. It's a community effort, it's a country effort, it's a global effort.
So if somebody would have had a similar story to mine and would have told me, I wish that would have happened for me. I wish I had somebody to tell me that I was making the wrong choice.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I am angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya. Which America?
Accident to mark our place. Some people they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years.
10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
Hello and welcome. This is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. How are you guys doing? This is the first week of the year that is almost over. How is the New Year resolution going? Hope we're sticking to those plans that we wrote down. Anyway, this is an entertainment analysis show in case you're joining us for the first time, and nobody does it better than us, if I do say so myself. While sipping tea, we serve you with the hottest news, celebrity breakdown, and everything pertaining lifestyle. If it's hot, it gets on this table. Anyway, and to do all that talking with me and keeping it jiggy with me is Ifolo Oshike and Eniola Baby.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. How's it going? Hey, Okbo. Yeah, yeah. Give them. Give it to them.
Yeah, you guys blessed.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Amen.
Nice. Please, how was yesterday? How's your day been? Same old? What does that mean for you? Because if you first say same old, I don't know. But if you say same old, what does that mean?
Went home, slept. Nothing exciting
Netflix.
Yesterday.
Nah. Not even Netflix.
Traffic yesterday.
Netflix is trips for.
Come on.
Netflix is
New Year. You guys start attacking me. Please.
Oh, okay. So New Year, we're going to step up from Netflix as
I was watching Netflix. Did I give you a Netflix recommendation last year?
Yeah, but what we're trying to say is that
trips last year.
But you say you're going out is Netflix now. So is that going to change this year?
Like going out means going to a pool party, not going to the movies. Remember?
Did you hear that, Ife?
Yeah, I said that. Watch the video. I said
that.
A
lot for mine.
Okay, so we're expecting more pool parties this year. Well, I mean COVID, but. Sha, you shall go out, Sha. Sure. That's the.
You know, ask me what's up.
Yeah, what's up with you, Ife?
Somebody made this Eddie Kaikon soup.
Made
it with a bar. You know, I go made a bar. I actually went to the kitchen, made a bar. You know, Eddie Kaikon soup was on point. Bottle of Coke. Charlie, I didn't sleep.
Charlie.
Hey.
When he takes you to Ghana back, then you know that you eat something nice. I say you've gone to Ghana with your child and going back to Nigeria, so the food must be really nice.
It was nice, no doubt about it. But
Eddie and what?
When I say I did not sleep,
why?
I was in the White House. I was communicating with what's his name now? Donald Trump is not in the White House anymore.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, yes. I was a Biden all night.
No,
like,
are you serious?
We were just gisting.
Imagine.
All the night. You guys don't know what I mean, right?
I think so. Would I know what you mean?
The White House.
If it's going global right now, I believe you.
But you know what I mean. Move on.
Okay.
No, enough of the White House talk. Just move on.
Well, I want to know this just when we go on the break. Anyway, Nollywood actress Damilola Adegbite has touched on a topic many shy away from. The movie star took to her Instagram page on Monday to advise people to be careful of who they seek counsel from. This is especially because majority of motivational speakers who come on social media to offer advice and act like they know it all are hiding a lot from those who don't know them well enough, which makes sense. So she went around on her Instagram post to also mention how she basically met a motivational speaker, and I guess that person I guess she saw something that most people wouldn't see on a normal day, and then just got over the whole motivational speaker thing. But I wanna ask your opinions first. Do you think that you need to know everything about your motivational speaker to be before you can be motivated?
I think even a crazy man on the street can motivate you sometimes. Sometimes you don't need a motivational speaker. So be careful. Sometimes people's experiences in life will motivate you. Do you understand? Like I was speaking to somebody yesterday and I told him about a story, how I shared it with somebody, and if it doesn't feel like I casted him, he said, no, I just said because I think your story is inspiring, and I just had to share it. He's not a motivational speaker. He just shared with me his experience. Do you understand? And then the outcome of that experience. So I think we learn from different things from everybody. So sometimes, though, I read another quote somewhere saying that be careful of people you take or you go to for counsel, especially those that haven't helped themselves and you think they can help you with their own. Do you understand? So sometimes you have to be careful. So I agree with Lola Debite, but at the same time, anybody can inspire anybody.
Yeah, I think from my personal experience, motivational speaking is not a big thing outside as much as it is here.
It's a job.
And obviously here because we need like it's a harder life here, so I guess you need things to juice you up a lot more. But I've noticed that this is now just my personal experience. I've noticed that the people that do a lot of that motivational speaking, whatever, when you meet them in person, they're the most toxic people. The people on my Twitter that go advising, they are the most toxic people I know. They're horrible people in real life and all of that. But this reminds me of the conversation I used to try and push. I remember we had the influencers come online, come on the table and online when we were talking about NSAS, and I was saying, is there a problem with performative activism? Like, is there a problem when people, they don't really stand for what they stand for, but they are there and all of that? And I remember the response to them was that performative activism helps the movement because we need the numbers and all of that. So based on that, even though I don't really agree, but I guess they are the ones that were more involved and had more authority about the conversation, I will learn from that one and bring it to this conversation and say, if your performative motivation is helping people and you're crap in real life and you haven't actually helped yourself, I would say go ahead and continue to do that. I would say that, honestly, because no one is truly excellent at everything anyway. So just because you're a fantastic lawyer doesn't mean that you might not be a sloppy cook or a sloppy husband or
you motivate me to be a fantastic lawyer.
Exactly.
Like if you can relate to what the person does and what this person is actually doing, you're like, okay, it's the right thing. But I think where she's trying to come from is, some people actually worship some motivational speakers. Like everything they do, you want to relate your life to it. You don't even sit back and think like, is this thing really
applicable to me?
Yes, this thing really applicable to me? Because I have a friend that is like that. She has, I won't mention the person's name, but this person is really big in the society. Huh? I'm not mentioning the person's name. So, and literally, if you want to offend, I just say, okay, this person is not correct, or this person is. I am not mentioning names. Or just say this person is not accurate. She's going to fight you on it because everything the person does is perfect in her eye. So I just feel, let's be more realistic. If you envision someone or if you see someone as your motivational speaker, you think and reason like, okay, what's this person doing? Is it right? Or should I actually adopt this?
Yeah, I guess the real tug of war with the conversation is there now a difference between that and hypocrisy? Because, if I guess we're all hypocritical at the end of the day, but that starts to come into play. That is it hypocritical for me to sit there? And I mean, that's one of the biggest issues I have with religion is that most of the time you go to church, they want me to feel we're in this like spiritual realm and we're such saints and blah, blah, blah. But that time, like you're so evil, like in the back of the house, you're doing the worst things that, and that for me is a big turn off. You see, I don't have that type of leisure. I don't have space for that. I don't give them a lot of grace to be that hypocritical. So then should we do the same thing for motivational speakers?
Conversation with this pastor, you're like, take the message and don't think about what the person is doing at the back. Yeah. I would say, take the message.
I think I can run with that.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that don't actually have a good what's it called now, reputation,
Mhm.
but they say some very intelligent stuff, and sometimes you find out that those intelligent stuff are applicable to you. Are they practicing what they preach? I really do not care.
Yeah, but then you see, how do you follow something that the person that's telling you has not even been able to do?
But does it work for you? Is this something that is applicable to your life?
Mhm.
That's the question you need to answer for yourself. Not even every piece of advice is really important. You know, somebody can sit with you and advise you for 2 hours, and only 10 minutes of their talk
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
most Nigerian parents are. I'm like, okay, mom, okay, that one, and then the rest I'm like, okay, sure, you have to do this too. I feel for you.
Most Nigerian parents
No, go on and on and on and on. So that's a small little. Shall just be careful. You take that one, but the one of you have to be like this when I was your age.
True, they start giving you an example that.
Okay.
Yeah, that lifestyle is not applicable anymore. Upgrade.
Anyway, let's move on to the next conversation. I think we've kind of dealt with that one. Fast-rising Nigerian singer Chike has apologized to Eastern Nigerians after he said it is primitive to travel to the East for Christmas. Again, Chike said it is primitive to travel to the East for Christmas. Recall, we earlier reported that the singer advised people who hail from the eastern part of Nigeria to stop traveling home for Christmas, as it is a primitive behavior. And then it is a now deleted tweet, which he shared on his official Twitter handle on Monday, which was yesterday. The singer said that it is unsafe to travel during the festive season. His tweet was made in reaction to people who lost their lives while traveling to and fro from their homes for Christmas celebration. Put that in mind. However, the upcoming artist has now tendered an apology to the Eastern Nigerians over his insensitive tweet. According to him, he was controlled by his emotions while making his earlier tweet after 2 of his friends who traveled for Christmas died in a car accident while returning back to the city. He wrote, and I quote, "I believe my now deleted tweet was misunderstood as it was an emotional one. This morning, 2 friends died in a road trip back from the village. I think the roads are too risky for everyone to be headed home and back. If you have been hurt, I sincerely apologize." The only thing I can say is that I'm glad it was an Igbo man that said this. Because if it was a Yoruba person or someone that was not from the East, it would have become a tribal beef. But your takes.
Okay. Regardless of what he said, it made sense. But regardless of the word primitive, I still feel he should have made his point across with a better word. Well, I agree with him. We all know how crazy the festive period can be with a high level of insecurity and accidents that happen in some parts of Nigeria. It's not uncommon. So I feel like even with the COVID-19 that is out there, the pandemic is still there. So why must all of us go to the village at the same time? I agree with what he said. It's not by force. Is it necessary for you to go to the village? If not, why don't you just stay in Lagos? There's so many things we should consider before traveling.
Well,
yeah,
I disagree.
Let me just, I think agreeing with what he said and teaching grown people how to do things now, that's super wrong. You can't tell anybody how to do things. In my few years on earth, I've realized that Igbo people, or the people from the East, are the most patriotic tribe. They do not miss going home for Christmas for whatever. Now, nobody is saying, look, there are people coming from England, people coming from America for Christmas. Are they primitive? They just miss home. And I think it is part of losing our culture, not going home. Because I remember growing up, your parents would tell you, let's go to the village. Even if it's for a day or 2, you don't find that anymore. Hold up. Okay. And there are people who have actually stayed consistent with that, who have gone. I don't think it's right. Apart from the word primitive, say that it's not everybody that should try. Don't tell people what to do. If being at home is what makes me feel at home during Christmas, by all means, I will definitely go
What about the dangers that's around?
The dangers that are around people coming from England that have COVID-19. How about that? And then you see
The
them and
dangers
you're
of me
in
coming
it people.
People who travel from the mainland to the island.
Thank you. I was just going to give you a typical example. I know two people that died over the weekend. They didn't travel. They just went to the party. And they were coming home and the dangers are when he's sitting right here is a risk every day.
Every day.
You coming across to tell people that
I think the whole tone of the text was awful. And even I'm sorry, even his comeback made it worse for me. The fact that somebody died is the reason why you tweeted that made it worse, because that's how you even tweet about somebody that has died. Like, my friends have died. I'll now go to Twitter and say primitive behavior. Like,
nah, we take kilo now.
Basically, like, you guys don't listen, learn, really learn. Somebody that has died? Are you kidding? It's rude. It's really insensitive. I absolutely agree with Ife, which is a rare thing.
See,
thank you.
I absolutely agree with Ife 100%. First of all, culture is really important, and just because it's not important to some people doesn't mean that that's a good thing. I think it's important for people to go home, and the only time you can go home, be realistic, is the festive season because there is no work. There's no other time for them to go.
You can't go any other time. You have to make it.
When will you go?
So when are you going to take a leave from work to say I'm going to the village?
When will you go?
Can you do that?
Oh, some people.
Yeah, but okay, but okay, if it's even possible for them to do that, and yes, not everybody goes home. But can you admit that the majority of people, most people, would only get the time to go home during the Christmas period, especially when their families are around, when school is off, when all the kids are back from wherever they've gone to for work. This is a time where everybody in the entire family is usually home. You don't get that in any other season as much.
Am I allowed to be selfish? Has anyone seen the roads? The roads are so free. Can they stay in the village? I don't know why we're all coming to sit here.
I mean, I would have liked it if he emphasized on the way you go to the village. Does everyone need to use road trip if they can afford a flight? I think not. I think take the flight, right? It's much safer. Or make sure you have security, or like take it is much safer, let's be honest. I mean, even going to Ghana, like when I was schooling in Ghana, I know that it's much safer using a flight than using road or whatever, but it's more expensive. 10 times, 20 times more expensive.
Well, we need the kids to also understand the geographical parts of Nigeria. You understand? When you're going to your village, you're part like different states. Do you understand? Interstate, you're seeing things that can never... See, there's some memories that are embedded in me. I can remember when I used to think trees used to follow me from Lagos to the village. Do you understand? Because you just be looking out of the car, you just see...
Yeah, I don't think he's even saying that it's a bad thing to go. He's talking about the safety, which is important. Like, I get that it is important, but his tone and the manner in which he said it was very off. And like if I said, you don't just tell people what to go.
Is the government, if we have good motorable roads in the western part of the world,
and put security there. You know, people are traveling. Put police all over the road.
Road trips and they okay, I was listening to the radio this morning, and the radio presenter practically laughed at the person who said, I think the question for the day was, what are you going to do the whole day for those of you, because a lot of people are at home this period. And somebody said, I just want to drive around all through. And she said, brother, where did they drive go? Because think about it, the traffic situation won't let you, but people actually take road trips in other parts of the world. I can get in my car and be like, I want to drive for 3 hours straight and not being scared of traffic. So I think what we should tackle is the root cause.
Anyway, Chike has apologized and we have forgiven him. Let's remind you of who Chike is away from this nonsense tweet, and I'll leave you with a beautiful song, which I'll leave you with right now. Enjoy.
Calling me the sugar where they your tea, calling me the honey where they your bee. Anything you tell me, I they believe her. Showing me around like I lost my way, telling all your friends and I me be bail. Baby, see me, I don't they believe her. Tell me, make I know now. If you show me, make I know now. If you don't show me, make I know now. If you don't love me, tell me, make I know now. If you show me, make I know now. If you don't show me, oh, make I know now. If you don't love me, make you not talk, say you love me, oh. Aye. If you don't need me, oh, nobody talk, say you need me, oh. I take this love more seriously, oh. Baby, oh, make you not play me, oh. Nobody talk, say you love me, oh. Don't play me.
Public bus. Kiki. Yeah.
You don't they be like say me I dey too talk. Make you no go be like say I get blocked. But now the other man you want to go and link up. Oh baby. I know be say I even gonna make drop. But I'm the sickest nigga you can find in this world. And it doesn't matter, baby, got to choose one already. So tell me, make I know now. If you show me, make I know now. If you not show me, oh, make I know now. Yeah, if you don't love me, oh, tell me, make I know now. If you show me, make I know now. If you not show me, oh, make I know now. If you don't love me, oh, make you not talk, say you love me, oh. If you don't need me, oh, nobody talk, say you need me, oh. I take this love oh, seriously, oh. Baby, oh, make you don't blame me, oh. Nobody talk, say you love me, oh. Before we go further, tell me now, I wanna know. They cannot go far down low, I wanna know. They cannot fall down low. Do you have another? Oh, I wanna know. Am I the only one? Am I your number one? If you don't love me, making up talk, say you love me, oh. Aye. If you don't need me, oh, nobody talk, say you need me, oh. I take this love oh seriously, oh. Baby, oh, making up play me, oh. Nobody talk, say you love me, oh. If you don't love me, oh, nobody talk, say you love me, oh. If you don't need me, oh, nobody talk, say you need me, oh. I take this love oh seriously, oh. You know if you need, you know finish me, oh. Nobody talk, say you need me, oh. Don't play me, oh. Make a know, make a know, make a
Give it to you back.
Hello and welcome back. This is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Have we forgiven him based on...
Yes. And y'all never saw around.
Oh yeah, true. Okay. At this time, which is the name of Rema's new album, has not been given a release date yet and it's still unknown. But yesterday, the Nigerian star Rema announced that his debut album will be dropping this year, 2021. The Maven artist announced it via his Twitter page. He wrote album, yes. He also promised that he would release bangers all year in another tweet. After bursting onto the stage in 2019, Rema released 3 bodies of work within his first 8 months as a signed artist. The projects are Rema's EP, Rema Freestyles EP, and Bad Commando. And I have to say that 2020 was, you know, he set the standard really high, I think. So wherever this album is or whatever he's dropping, it needs to go really good, because I think there was kind of like, if I'm going to use the Bitcoin graphics, there was kind of like a drop, not a bad drop because it was already really high, but a drop with his last song he released last year, which was Peace of Mind. The song is good, but it didn't do very well, you know, and it wasn't like, I don't know, I just think it wasn't the hottest thing to end the year with. So I'm guessing that this album really shoots him back up.
Well, I kind of disagree with Peace of Mind, because he dropped that song right after he spilled his mind on a lot of things that were bothering him. A lot of fake friends were around his brother before he died, and when none of them showed up, I had to steal a laptop. I started making money at a very young age. I took care of his mother and all of that. So if you put all of that together and you listen to that song, it will make a lot of sense. Is it another banger? I don't think so. You get me? But yeah, but is it a song? It's a good way to end the year, because the year didn't actually end on like
and so it's fair to say,
like not everyone vibed to that song.
And which is the English I'm saying. It's not a bad song, but it's not. And even that reasoning of like, you know, it had a lot of meaning to it. You can have meanings to a song and it's still a banger. I mean, Eminem was I think when I think of anyone who does that, makes his pain into bangers. Like, you listen to the rap and he's talking about suicide, he's talking about him being a horrible husband, he's talking about being abusive, like not being there for his child. Like, this guy says heavy stuff, but it's still a hard song. I mean, obviously, it has a lot of meaning, like if I mentioned, when you know the tweets that were there before, and it makes it a lot more personal. Yes, so it's not an irrelevant song in that sense, but you could still have made it a banger. The only reason why we're forgiving him for ending the year like that is because it had meaning. But we know that he could do better
Yeah,
than
we
that.
get into his like first songs, Woman, what's the first bad, what's the this one?
Ginger, oh no.
There's one of the songs that is very catchy.
German.
Yes.
What's
yes.
the name of that song?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
The one that made it to Obama's list.
I love like what he was releasing before, but I think people didn't just expect him to produce something like this.
It can't be just Iron Man though. Rema has bangers.
He has Woman. He has.
Those are his recent body of works now. Like I'm talking about Rema. Like come on, man, come on, nobody.
Yeah.
Are you like a
Rema.
big fan?
I
Would
like
you call
Rema.
yourself?
I won't call myself a big fan of Rema, but just to throw the scene as well. You know, he made the Obama list in 2019, and then this year he didn't make it, but it was Wizkid, Essence, you know. Yeah, so big shout out to his
You just had to
boy.
put it there.
I
But
just had to. Yeah.
And Thames as well.
Yeah.
Let's give Thames the shine.
Even though Chris Brown,
I know.
How can you take away Chris Brown
Brown,
saying
yeah.
Thames is fire? Or what did he say again?
Yeah.
Whatever he said, he shall meant
Thames
that
fire
Thames is shall
emoji.
fire.
Yeah,
sha.
basically.
I know this album is going to be mad.
You think so? Do you? I want to. You know what I'm expecting? I'm expecting some collaborations that would just like give me music gasm
would
or
you want to say
something.
with?
Like I want maybe a song with a Malay or Thames or
Olamide. That would be interesting.
Olamide.
Or this
Rema
new
and
guy,
Wizkid,
Bella
though.
Shmurda. That would be interesting.
Rema and Bella Shmurda.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting to hear. To go.
Lady oh, my lady oh. That's the song. I'm never.
Thank you.
Because COVID. Sorry.
Anyway, Sha, let's move on to somebody that we actually just mentioned, which is Eminem. He revealed a near-fatal drug overdose, almost stripping him of his rapping skills. Addressing the diss track to Rihanna, which I had no idea of until now, the Lose Yourself spitter says he was just rapping whatever rhymed because the song was recorded during the time he was relearning how to rhyme. Eminem said Eminem may be one of the best rappers alive today, of course, but the near-fatal drug overdose almost stripped him of his ability. The Grammy Award-winning artist admitted that he had to relearn some of those skills in 2007 incident that almost took his life, which was a drug and whatever. The Slim Shady briefly touched on his drug issues and its aftermath when addressing his diss track, Things Get Worse, aimed at Rihanna. When it first happened, I was like, first, I didn't even know how, and somebody got that. So basically saying he had no idea. The 48-year-old star claimed he had no recollection of the lyrics and figured he was just rapping whatever rhymed because the song was recorded during that time. Second of all, and I quote, I have no or zero recollection of even remembering doing that. The verse, like the rhyme schemes, didn't even sound familiar to me. So I was caught off guard too, which is very interesting. Going on social media and into his space and all of that, a lot of people don't really believe this story from what I'm seeing on social media, that it's an excuse as to why he dissed Rihanna because it was on a very baseless reason. I guess maybe he was being immature or whatever. But it could be that, I mean, I think both theories could be real. Like it could really be that he's lying and he's making this up just to make himself feel better, or he truly was in a bad space and was acting out of character. Like for you to say that your sound was unfamiliar to you, you must really be disconnected to yourself at that point. That the real Eminem wouldn't have done that, and maybe all that he was going through and his drug whatever is what made him to write what he wrote. But either ways, I listened to the song and it really went hard on dissing Rihanna, so I don't know. What
one thing that stood out for me was his apology, saying that, look, it's not an excuse for whatever I did. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have, his apology, because when it went on and on in my mind, I was like,
you were like,
bro, what are you talking about? Like, there are a lot of people that have been on drugs. Yeah, it makes you think out. It makes you think wild. It makes you do the dumbest stuff. It makes you. But is that enough excuse for saying this is the reason why I acted out? So I think it's knowing where to draw the line and know that I was tripping at that moment. But is it enough for you? Were you high old true when the song got released as well.
And
like,
when you're
got
promoting
released
it and
and
producing it.
it's not like,
legit at all.
yeah. So the theory on social media is totally acceptable. That and especially when we've seen you do the same to people like Britney Spears, Madonna, Mariah Carey. You know, you've dissed a whole lot of people in
This
the
thing
industry.
is your thing.
Yes, like your
so when you now start
specialty.
saying, so yeah, the fact that you're in a good place with Rihanna now, you're trying to work things out, it's okay. But we can't blame it on the drugs.
It's not just possible.
And your take?
I just feel like you should have thought about a better lie. If
You think it's a lie?
Yes, I don't believe it.
Wow.
Ifa is ready to attack me right now.
No.
I know you're an Eminem stan.
Really? Am I?
You actually said that to me once, that you were.
I did. Oh, really?
Yes.
You're not? You don't like Eminem?
That's why I'm shocked.
You said it to me.
I did?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I wish we had the video so we just play back. Anyway.
We need a playback category because people used to lie on this table a lot.
I love Eminem.
Yes, you did.
Maybe 10 years ago. I could have said that to you 10 years ago.
When did we meet? We met this year.
We could have met 10 years ago still. That would have been a pedophile.
Hey.
If the day you don't throw your age into the mix, and that day we will buy you rice. How about that? And Ella will buy you rice.
You made the offer now. Why are you telling me this?
Is it bag of rice?
500.
Only me. Please 500
Mr.
now.
Igbo man. Please go on.
He's still Mr. Igbo man.
Please, your take. Anyway, so
I just feel like you should have come up with a better lie. Because, when you're on drugs, make you behave irrationally and do things. But it's not, I don't think it will sustain you to the point that you create a diss track against Rihanna, you produce it and you promote the song. Like, nah, it's just ridiculous. I just felt, if you wanted to lie, make it believable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never gone to a place where I'm having drug issues and I'm almost being whatever. So I don't know. I guess that place is really dark. And like if I mentioned, this is me playing devil's advocate here. Not that I'm saying I don't think it's a lie as well. I'm just trying to balance out the conversation. But based on what Ife said, that you could have been in a dark place for a long time, right? And he also mentioned that the way you think gets wild. So that maybe during that whole period where it was produced and all of that, he was confident with his mistake, if that makes sense. Which is why I feel like you should have said it a bit better. Not that you were not aware or that it sounded so unfamiliar. I don't know, when did I do that? But maybe you just didn't think about it with a clear head. I feel like he knew what he was doing. He just wasn't thinking straight. But anyway, let's move on from Mr. Eminem. Popular Nigerian stand-up comedian Ali Baba has disclosed that he is just coming out of isolation after contracting the dreaded COVID-19. The famous comic figure disclosed this in a post he shared via his Instagram official page. In the video shared on his Instagram page, Ali Baba said he spent his Christmas and New Year celebrations in isolation. He stressed that COVID-19 is real and called on everyone to take all the protocols seriously. In his words, COVID is real. Don't let anyone tell you that it's a scam. I just came out of isolation. Several people died where I was. Some of my close friends knew and they were very supportive. I thank the Lagos State Governor Jide Sanwo-Olu and the Commissioner of Health, the MD and the COVID Center in Yaba, the doctors, especially Dr. Nifemi, who are risking their lives to keep us alive. Thanks to all the nurses. I want to thank Benga and a good friend.
Benga didn't cut the first.